Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT The Game Season 1, Episode 9, the go-home version of NXT television, as NXT Takeover Chicago is just moments away. Let's get straight into the action. The camera pops on as Tom Phillips, Nigel McGuinness, and Steve Corino show up on the screen. Tom Phillips welcomes us and lets us know that tonight is the go-home show to NXT Takeover Chicago, and it's going to be one hell of a night here on NXT. So I tried to mess with stuff for a little bit. Aside from Nigel McGuinness, they were awful. So we won't be doing that again. All right. As most of you know from my previous NXT The Game 13 series on the Go Home shows, I do lots of multi-man matches and pay-per-view hype just to get to the event, because if my shows and cards aren't built by now, they're not going to be. All right. At NXT Takeover Chicago, it will be Ruby Riot taking on the iconic duos Peyton and Royce for the vacated NXT Womens Championship. In a poor match, Nikki Cross, Billie Kay, and Peyton Royce defeat Ember Moon, Ruby Riot, and the debuting Sarah Bridges when Peyton Royce defeats Sarah Bridges by pinfall with a Hurricanrana. So the team of Sanity's Nikki Cross and the iconic duos Billie Kay and Peyton Royce defeats the woman she will face at NXT TakeOver Chicago, Ruby Riot, Ember Moon, and Sarah Bridges. So actually look at the ratings here. They're very solid in between themselves. At NXT TakeOver Chicago, it will be Ember Moon taking on Sanity's Nikki Cross. We learned from William Regal earlier. Nikki Cross, of course, after losing her first round match to Ember Moon, cost Ember Moon her second round match against Peyton Royce. So they will be facing off at NXT TakeOver Chicago. And also at NXT TakeOver Chicago, it will be DIY's Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa taking on the new It Factor, Blake and Murphy, with Alexa's replacement, Velvet Sky. Alright, and in a bout that featured decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, No Way Jose, Roddy Strong, and DIY defeated the Authors of Pain and Sanity when No Way Jose defeated Akon by pinfall with a sit-down crucifix powerbomb. The Authors of Pain taking their first ever loss here tonight on NXT, which may seem like a little bit of a strange thing to do given their undefeated nature, but we'll call it a distraction finish. And quite frankly, I didn't want the undefeated nature hanging over their heads, because while I love the Authors of Pain, I don't see them, quite frankly, as a team who should, never lose. But given this was an 8-man match, the loss really doesn't mean very much. They're still undefeated in one-on-one action, and we'll be going forward with that. Alright, and as a reminder, at NXT TakeOver, for the NXT Tag Team Championships, it's going to be the Authors of Pain, Akon, and Razor defending against No Way Jose and his partner Roderick Strong. And lastly, at NXT TakeOver Chicago, it will be NXT champion Bobby Roode defending against Sanity's leader Eric Young. Into the main event, in a decent match and a final bout between the two, Aleister Black defeats Andrade Cien Almas in 13 minutes via submission. Their program from NXT Takeover NXT Takeover Orlando has concluded, and Aleister Black with the victory over Andrade Cien Almas here tonight. As the show's ending, the camera finds Bobby Roode in the back with William Regal, getting Bobby to put his name on the contract to face Eric Young at NXT TakeOver Chicago. As he signs in, Regal shakes his hand of Bobby Roode, wishes him good luck, and leaves. The camera stays with Bobby Roode for a while as he picks everything up and heads out to the door as NXT is getting ready to fade out. But as he turns the corner, Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane attack Bobby Roode from behind and send him into a nearby wall. The trio lay into him violently as boos can be heard from within the arena loud and clear. The assault continues for a minute or two until Eric Young begins to grab the NXT Championship, which has fallen on the packed bag of Bobby Roode. Eric Young stares at it as the feed begins to fade and the show begins to end, with NXT TakeOver Chicago this Saturday on the USA USA Network. That's right, we have our takeover specials airing on the USA Network instead of the WWE Network to get to a wider audience. But this will be it. This will be your NXT The Game Season 1 Episode 9 version of NXT TV of the Go Home Show. That's what our rating was. A 60 rating. This was very good. It's been our best show to date. We'll continue going forward and trying to improve on our shows, obviously. But this was a very solid version here, guys, of NXT The Game. And I will see you guys in a day or so for NXT Takeover Chicago. Thanks for watching.